Hey and welcome to this live session of tuning the Evo 10. So uh, I'm actually filming this intro 8 months after I did the actual live session. So I guess it's not that live anymore, but still I just wanna give you some things beforehand. So this is directly jumping into VirtualDyno EcuFlash using the Tactrix open port. I don't have any instructions on how to set these things. If you're interested, I can make a video about that in the future. But there are quite a lot of videos showing how to set these things. So I decided to just jump into tuning because actually tuning is what is missing, and I just can't understand why. Maybe people don't want other people to blow their engines, but I don't know. That being said, even in this video that you're going to see, there are some things that I was learning along the way, and I will say currently I know more than I knew in that video, so you can expect another version coming soon after I change injectors and turbo and fuel pump. This will require a tune as well, so I'll jump back to it. But for now, that's it. Also along the way during the tuning, my boost controller arrived, so you can see that as well. You can see that I have just adjusted my tune to compensate for the new boost controller. So yeah, overall, it's that. Before you begin again, I guess what I would definitely recommend you to have is a wideband, because without that, it's a little bit dangerous to tune. So it's not like it's impossible, but that's the wideband is the thing that actually is one of the most information giving things, is so to say. So this is one of the major things that you need to know if you're doing good or not. But that being said, enjoy the video. Hopefully you find it very useful. So I just made 2 pulls on 3rd gear. They are gonna be our baseline runs for this session. So here they show 266 and 259, and this is after I've adjusted the temperature, the current temperature, which is very hot, even though it's midnight. But yeah, the car weight as well. Usually here it's 1640, and if you see, if I change that, power goes up to 289, but actually this is not true. My car weight's 1500, so now it's 266. And actually something interesting, the first ever pull that I did was like a little more than a year ago, before I had any sort of modification made to the car. So no intakes, no catbacks, no manifolds, nothing like that. And it made 267 horsepower, but without adjusting the weight. So here it was 1640, and this was like 266. So now it's 266, but with the weight adjusted. So yeah, we have gained some good power with just the modifications, without any tune. But if we look below here on the graph, you can see that even though we have gained some power, the car is not behaving properly as of now, because, and it's actually felt while doing the pulls. You can see when I hit the gas here, it peaks at 163 kPa, which is like 1.6 bar. I gotta see that in PSI, around 24 PSI. But yeah, you can see that the boost spikes to like 1.6 and then drops to
to 1 bar and then goes back up to 1.5 and so on. And same goes as the fuel ratio. You can see here we have 12.5, 10.7. Here we have 11.7. Then we go back to 10.2. Here we have 10.1, and it generally staying around 10. Generally staying around 10.67 at the high RPMs, which we need to change that to around 11.3, 11.7. Maybe best case would be 11.5. So yeah, I think if we fix that here, the power band would be much smoother. Here we'll probably have some gains at the mid-range, 4 to 5,000 RPM. And yeah, this is usually the place where you, like, at least I tend to keep my car at most when I'm like driving a little bit faster. So yeah, we'll focus on that. So yeah, as far as the boost, I'm thinking of bringing it to maximum 1.8 for now. But yeah, this will be later. First thing I'm going to do is that I'm going to go to the EcuFlash and reduce the timing and adjust the air fuel ratio to be around 11.5, as I said, and also manage the boost level as well. And after that, once I'm happy with that, I'll start raising the timings. So yeah, we'll see. With previous tunes, I have gotten 300 wheel with this setting here, the the weight measured in. But yeah, we'll see. I haven't paid that much attention to like what I'm doing. I was just raising the boost. This time I'll try to fine tune it a little bit. But yeah, that's it for now. I'll do some more runs and I'll come back. Oh yeah, I forgot. This is the file that we got. So the cruise long-term fuel trim is quite good. It's around 1%, so, or whatever measurement unit is that, but it's within a good range. The knock, you can see for yourself here. This is the RPM, this is the knock. You can see that there will be a bunch of ones, but nothing scary. I mean, one is not a problem as far as I've read, so we should be good here. Something else, if you're interested, yeah, we saw the maximum boost either way. So intake air temperature, as you can see, 37 degrees. Even though I have the cold air thing, it's just a bit too hot right now. The manifold temperature is around usually 10 degrees hotter, and seems to be the case here. And yeah, that's about it. Here's what I'm doing in the table. So the timing table, at this range I just marked all of them and just decrement 3 points. So this was 16, like this was 19, and so on. This is just so I just want to take the timing out of the equation. I just want to focus on here the fuel map. And for the fuel map, this is the settings that I added. So basically these are the stock ones, and this is what I add. You can hopefully like make sense of the changes. So this is, I'm adding those specific ones because I have tested them previously and they seem to work okay for me. But if you're like just starting to do that, I would recommend to slowly increment it just to make sure that, because this is quite a big change from like I think it was 10 and we all suddenly went to 11. So yeah, just not to like become too rich, because it might say 11.3, but in reality it may be more than that. So just keep it in mind that. And the other things that I'm gonna be doing is here in the solenoid, the reactive solenoid, and the, let me see, where is it, passive solenoid, this one. I'm gonna be changing this a little bit to try and even out the boost levels. But yeah, I will play around with that, and I'll come back after I do some pulls and I'll just show you what changes I made to achieve that. So yeah, you'll see that a bit later. And yeah, also, you know that we have here 3 tables for the reactive and 3 for the passive. So basically this is for actually there are two really for high and low gear range, but yeah, I usually tend to like change all 3 of them. But yeah, high and low gear range, I don't think it makes sense for the manual evos, but nonetheless I update all of them and add pretty much the same value. Alright, I did 3 new runs with the settings that I said that I was gonna make. So we got some, we did get the AFR adjusted. As you can see, it's right about 11.6, between 11.6 and 11.7, which is right about where we wanted. The boost is still, it did get smoother. As you can see, the green one did make a good run, but the other ones still have some flex here. They're still not smooth enough, so I'll need to play a little bit more with that, but it's gotten a little bit better. In terms of power, we are sitting around 280 here, but we'll see. We should be able to get more, because yeah, I did retard the timings. And here, as far except this, let me quickly show you. So I did change this volt boost from, it's usually 80, I set it to 90. Here I've made some changes to the target boost that I want, and same as for those. And that's pretty much all that this direct boost thing is basically like the volt boost but in PSI, but I would prefer the volt boost. But yeah, if we were to, for just some context, well, alright, so I don't think it makes sense anyway. I thought that was PSI, but it's not. So yeah, anyways, I'm using this one here, the volt boost. So it's just an arbitrary numbers. I'm actually going for 1.7, 1.8 bar, but whatever this like means, it will be different for probably everyone. But yeah, anyways, next thing I'm going to change is gonna be the reactive and passive solenoid. I said I was gonna change them, but I decided to try first like adjusting my wanted boost to see what happens. So it did get a little bit better, but still needs some work. So I'll play around with these settings here. I'm guessing that the passive solenoid is gonna be the thing that's gonna fix my hole in the boost, but yeah, we'll see that. I'm gonna make some changes, do some more pulls, and I'll come back. Okay, we got the boost figured out. As you can see now, it's a much smoother line. It peaks just before 4000 RPM, that's normal. And then it keeps a steady fall until where it runs out of steam, but that's good. The only thing that is wrong with it currently is, as you can see, the peak boost here on this green one was 2 bar, and yeah, 2 bar is just a little bit too much for the stock engine. So let me show you actually what I changed to achieve that. So in this iteration, like those 3 pulls, I changed the passive solenoids. As you can see, the 3 tables are identical. So usually it's just those values here from 5,000 to 6,000, and what I did is I added those, but here it was 60, 65, 60, and then 45. So I just changed it to 55, and hopefully this will be enough to bring down the boost from 2 bar to 1.8. I'll check it out and I'll see if that's enough, but maybe for good measure I can try to do it like 50. But yeah, basically those tables are for the passive solenoid, and basically the passive solenoid has no correction, so whatever you enter here will be constant, and we will only rely on the reactive solenoid to react. And also I can now show you, just a second, I think I saw it in one of these walks here. Okay, let's freeze the top row here like that, and here in this table wastegate duty cycle correction, if you go down a little bit, you can see it starts correcting some data, and if we pinpoint that, we'll see that we're at around 3.3800 RPM, and the boost is 1.92, so basically way above a little bit above actually what we want. And here's the actual wastegate duty cycle. It's 89, and what we set it here is, at that point it's about 95, it should be. So yeah, this shows that basically if this wastegate has to do any work to like mitigate the boost, this means that we're adding a bit too much. So I can either make this thing, change this to set it to like 80, which will release the gas, it will not go through turbo, or I can play around with the passive solenoid, which will do the same as I did here, which is in the passive solenoid I reduced it. Yeah, for me it's a bit more intuitive to change it from here. Some people I've seen just make this all of those 100% and then control everything from the reactive solenoid, but I'm going this route. So yeah, the end result is important, and the end result is that we need to have this smooth transition. Now I'm gonna reduce the peak boost, maybe increase this one this a little bit, and the increase will also happen from the passive solenoid. Here, instead of like 45, 20, we can push it up to like 60, 70, 80, whatever, and it can bring up the boost. And yeah, it will be probably tomorrow because it's close to midnight, but yeah, I'll continue with that. I'll keep you posted, but we're getting close to setting our desired boost. As you can see here, it's like, what is it, 5 5500 RPM. We're about 1.3 bar. I think we can, I'll try to increase it to 1.5 bar here and just keep it through the RPM range. Maybe not in the end because there's no enough pressure there, but yeah. And then after I do that, as you can see, the AFRs are good. I mean, here they are 12 at 4000 RPM, but I think that's due to the lean spool. I'll double check that, but it should be good. After we cross 5500 RPM, you can see that we're staying at around 11.7, 11.8, which is yeah, it's not bad. Maybe for the final part of the tune, I'll dial those down just a little bit, just in case that trim for some reason changes, because here you can see that during the oh, actually you can't see it here, but there was another file that I saw a few minutes ago that was plus or something. Yeah, it did change a little bit, so just to be safe, I'll dial it up down, so worst case it hits 11.8, best case it's like 11.76 or whatever. Hey, so I just found the run that I did that I was talking about yesterday. The first one of the first actually that I made, and here this is the green one. I adjusted it so the weights are the same, they pretty much were. This was maybe around 20-30 kilograms more, but it's not like 1640, so yeah. And here we can see the results: 253 the old one, 266 the new baseline, and as you can see the top is very close, but the mid-range is where we gained, so not much. But this is gains that happened due to the modes that we made, the bottoms basically. So not much without the tune, but still some improvements. I would say mainly due to the cat. The cat was very noticeable after I changed it, but yeah, I would say all of them have contributed a little bit. So if we need to see exactly, this is like 200, and then so this is around 20 horsepower, which is not little, actually not bad. Around 5000 RPM here. So yeah, I just wanted to show you that, and now let's go back to tuning. Right, so it's the next day. I did a few more runs, and as you can see, I got the boost to be very smooth, as well as the AFR lines here. So here it's 11.8. This is a bit of an older run. I actually did a few more, but not till like red line, so it's adjusted even further to increase the boost levels right around here. But yeah, the next step, or actually I can just quickly show you, I ended up playing with these tables as I said, and just a little bit with the reactive solenoid table, and also I did change the fuel table just a little bit, so I decreased the values around about this area here, because they were seeming they were looking to be a little bit above 11.7, which was my target maximum, to be honest. So yeah, I think the boost level is pretty much, and the AFR are pretty much dialed in, and the next step would be to come here, and you can see this square where the first thing we did actually was to decrease those values. Now I'll just start adding them back up, and maybe for the first one I can just do that and hit this key here, which will increment all of them by 1, like that. And maybe this will be the first thing I do, and for the last few increments, I can go specific areas, like for example just here or something like that, but this will be depending on the results. And the results, the thing that I'm going to be looking for is going to be knock. Basically I'll increment the values until I get knock, and when I do that I'll revert back with 1 or 2 steps, and I think we can call it a day. Hopefully we're gonna hit the 300 number. If not, well, it is what it is. This is the most I think that the car can do, at least with my tuning skills. I don't know if there's anything more than I can do, but yeah, I would love to take it to a dyno to see the real horsepower number, but hey, doesn't matter. As long as I'm doing the thing that I think I should be doing and the car is running faster, then it's all good. And here's the first 300 and over 300 wheel. This is after I bumped up the timings by 2. Yeah, and it was kind of noticeable after I passed 5000 RPM, so it's good. And we still have 2 more increments to go before we even reach the original timings, which usually they are pretty aggressive, so I don't know if we will be able to go above that, but at least if we reach it. The fuel is now 1 day old, so if it works on this, it will be good, because it will also obviously work on new fuel. And yeah, I would prefer to tune it on an even older fuel, maybe 2 days, just to make sure there's no knock, in case I don't drive the car like few days and decide to hit the gas a little bit. But with that being said, I think this is so far it's going well. Now increment a little bit more, play around with it. I won't bother you with all the changes. I'll just come back when I have everything finished and I'll show you the results. Okay, so I gotta show you these results here. These are 3 consecutive runs. Good numbers, I would say. As you can see, we're pretty much in line, and what I'm very, very happy with is that boost line. As you can see, very, very, very smooth. Starts with 1.7 bar, which is much better than previous runs that we had that spike up to 2 bar, which is I mean, I can't even imagine how much stress will be for the engine. So 1.7 bar here, 5000 RPM, we're looking at around 1.6 to 1.7 maximum. 6000 RPM, we're 1.5 bar, and red line, of course, the 1.2. Still there's some pressure here, but yeah, I wouldn't expect anything for at the red line. But yeah, AFR 11.4, 11.7, so within the target range. So yeah, I think that's good. The current state is this. I finally managed to nail down the settings for the passive solenoid. Here the table is reverted to its original, and yeah, I forgot to show you proof that this is actually, in my opinion, a good tune so far. Look at that, no knocksome across the board, so that's quite good. Of course, other runs like this one, for example, you can see there is a knock here at the end. It's not like perfectly clear, but I don't think it's possible to be perfectly clear. When my car was stock, there were even some knocks, sums of 1 or 2 at some point, so think at this point the tune is quite stable. Now, just for just wanting to see what happens, I'll go ahead and increase this area a little bit more, just to do a few runs to see if it's going to be stable, and if it's not, I'll just leave it as it is because I'm very happy with this result. I'll even save it as a custom save, not that I usually do it like that, but the long-term successful tunes I save as 2.7 or 2.8, some sort of versioning, just so I know that it's stable. But the snapshots, if you want to call it that way, I do it this way with the date that I'm doing this and the car that I'm doing this, which is I have only 2 cars, so whatever. Okay, yeah, I'll try to do something, see what happens, see if we even get any improvement, and if not, this will be it. Alright, so after repeating the process a few more times, this is actually a few days later, I was able to further improve the boost curve, timings, AFR quite better actually. So as you can see, oh yeah, actually that's not the correct power because I have different weight values here, but yeah, it's quite a bit faster actually. And yeah, to show you what I did, so the timings here, last time I did it this was stock timings actually, so I went ahead and I increased the part at the end basically, and here just with 1. So while checking the logs, I found out that around this area here was the one that was being hit when I hit on the throttle. So after increasing that, the boost actually fell quite a lot because there was the air was moving, of course, much faster. There's no knock here, so I kept increasing them. And for reference here, if I can avoid the older version, so yeah, as you can see, there's quite a bit of timings added on this end, and yeah, the car has gotten quite a bit faster, of course. So yeah, and with that, by adding this much power, the boost started to fall down. So just 1 second. So I had to go here. Oh, sorry, that's the old one. Let me open the newest version. So yeah, I had to go here and increase the offset, and here in the passive solenoid I did have to change it further. Here, as you can see, it capped to 100. Here it's increased quite a bit, and that's because there was just not enough boost. As you can see, I can still even turn it up even more, but for today actually I'll be satisfied with that because I'm running low on fuel. But yeah, it's quite good. But yeah, the thing is that you just need to run until, and increase the timings, watch your AFRs and stuff like that until you're satisfied with the result. Unfortunately, there's nothing like you can just open a forum and get the values from there. You need to do it for yourself, but it's a starting point, just so you know that like at peak boost you can be running like 7 or 8 or 6 degrees, depending of course on your fuel, but like 93 in US, 98 and 100 octane in Europe, for example. It should be the should be pretty similar. So yeah, just for reference point, for example, just so you know that like peak boost you can have 7, and like top end you can have 19, 18, 20, whatever. So yeah, this is a starting point, but from there you need to work your way to adjust it. But in any case, I really hope that this was helpful. because at least I like showed you the things that I do change while doing the tune. Also, something that I did off camera was the Mivec intake, and what I've done here is I just copied the JDM map. So if you just get a JDM file, you have the same table, with the exception that here it's 20 degrees. I set it back to 10, but this here is from there. So yeah, this and all the maps that I showed you so far, this is all that I've changed, and this is the result that we managed to get. Yeah, so the red one is the run that we did last time with the tuning that I recorded. As you can see, the difference that it makes from the Mivec and timing changes, because between those, the really important things that I've changed is the timing. And yeah, because of the timing, as I said, I needed to increase the boost, but increasing the boost didn't actually increase the boost, it just compensated for the lack of boost after I increased the timing. So yeah, check this out. Same timing, same boost, same AFR, but check the power difference here. So in like this 5000 RPM, old one 263, new one 285, 290, somewhere around that. So, and check the Newton meters, that's crazy as well. So yeah, that's the power of timing basically. Now you saw the steps that I do to tune the car. That's pretty much all there is to it, except of course if you're doing like injector or MAF scaling, that's a different story, but the general thing was that. And now, for just a fun additional thing, I went ahead and bought electronic boost controller. This is a 3-port boost controller. Let me show it without the bag. Alright, so the first runs are in, and as you can see, the blue one is the old, this one is new. Now for the peak, of course, this is going to be higher because I haven't adjusted the wastegate, but here at the end, both wastegates are at 100% duty cycle, and you can see that there's a very good gap. So 134 here, 136 versus 117. So that's a good difference. If I had to convert into like PSI, it would be from 17 to almost 20 PSI here. So that just by the boost controller. So I guess I was wrong. There is some boost to be had by upgrading that. And here, as you can see here, it's really bad currently. It's 2 bar, so that's not gonna be kept like that. I'm gonna change the wastegates just a little bit. As you can see, this is my target here, and this is my offset for load, so I'm gonna change that a little bit. And here in the reactive solenoid, what I did is, usually this is much higher, but because I don't have the passive solenoid, which is always open at the lower RPM, what I did is I basically lowered down these values so that it doesn't, I mean, while they weren't lowered, sorry, the car was very quick and responsive, but for like city driving, this for me is not that good because it's always want to go and it burns too much fuel. So I turned those down, and this, as you can see here, is what I've set them up. So before, if I wanted to hit peak boost here, I would have to set that to already 100, I think. So as you can see, that's much better. Actually, we can do something. We can compare them. 1 second, let me close this one. And open. And let's compare. Oh, they were comparing. Okay. Okay, let's see. The reactive. Okay, so you can see the old values here. At 3000 RPM, this was already maxed out. And here are the new values. So, as you can see, this one here is lowered from the old one. But as I said, this is due to like city driving being too fast. But yeah, here, and I even need to lower it even more because as you saw, it is a bit too much. It is hitting 2 bar, and that's a bit too much for me. Here is where I'm gonna probably increase it to 100 at the higher RPMs to get some more boost there, but this needs to be lowered. Other than that, I think I'm pretty close to having it tuned out properly, because the car drives quite well with these settings here, and it is faster. I don't know if you saw in the dyno, the blue one is the old one, and the orange and green are the new ones. And as you can see here at the 5000 RPM, we went from exactly 5000 RPM, we went for 290, from 297 to 315. So that's some good power, and that's at the mid-range, which is usually where you like stop accelerating. But here as well, as you can see, 314 to 340. I mean, that's, of course, it's a VirtualDyno, take it with a grain of salt, but there is some improvement. I don't know if it's as much as this, because as you can see, the boost is not that much more, but there is an improvement. Torque as well, as you can see, peak torque, but actually we're going to reduce that, so don't look at that. I'm gonna do a few more runs here because 2 bar is a bit too much. One, as you can see, I had it tuned before to 1.7 bar, and I was happy with that. As you can see, I was getting 424 Newton meters. Now it's like 450, which is not bad, but I would like it a little bit lower. Other than that, this is pretty much exactly what I was aiming for, to improve the top end power, because as you can see, it was very, very, very flat here. Not that it isn't right now, but yeah, as you can see, the curve goes a little bit higher. And yeah, with that being said, I think now my car does match what people say on forums they can do with bolt-ons. I have the catback, full exhaust from even different tubular manifold to the catback, an intake, upper intercooler pipe, and a tune. I think that's what I have. I don't have the intercooler yet. I don't know if it will probably bring some more power because it will cool the temps a little bit more, but yeah, I'm gonna do a few more runs, try to see if I can improve this a little bit, and I'm gonna call it a day. Alright, so here's one run that is pretty close to being finished. There's some very few things that I need to adjust here in the timings, I guess, but yeah. So this is the wastegate curve. As you can see, it's not even here, it's 89 at 6000 RPM. It's not even 100. It goes to 100 at like 7000 RPM. This is the load. As you can see, it's 280, hovering around that. The wastegate correction needs to be adjusted a little bit. As you can see, it's here it's removing some like 7 points, so I need to adjust that a little bit. But if we check the numbers, this the red one is where we left it. As you can see here, 297 at 5000 RPM, and this is with the boost controller. Nothing else changed except the tune, of course. and check this power across the board, as you can see, and the torque as well. And if we check the boost here, the red one starts at 174, this one starts at a little bit higher at 182, but as you can see it keeps it here. It's almost still 180 at 5000 rpm, and then it starts to drop, but the red one starts to drop as well. And as you can see, this is the yellow one is consistently higher, the green one, sorry. And at the red line we can see that at 7000 we have 132, whereas with this one we have 117. So noticeably better. So in conclusion, I would say definitely go for a boost controller. I will know in the future to trust the forums a little bit more. My point of thinking was, my way of thinking was, I mean, because usually maybe that's because some of the people that wrote it didn't quite understand as well, but they were like, if you're like a different turbo, if you want more boost on some or something, just get a port controller. But like very few people actually explained why is that, and that's why I was like not really sure if I wanted one. But yeah, as you can see, something else that I can say as well is the responsiveness of the wastegate is much more active now. I mean, basically, as soon as something goes out of like how it's supposed to be, the wastegate kicks in immediately, and as you can see, it tries to, as I showed you before, that it tries to make it as proper as possible. With the old one, it was very slow to react, so this one is a good improvement as well. And I can quickly go over the map to show you the tables that I changed here. So this is basically the 2.285, the previous one. I've just changed the version and I haven't closed it since, so everything you see highlighted in blue here is the things that I changed. So not that much, as you can see. So let's quickly show you first this. I did change the timings up top because now I was hovering in this range before that, but now I'm hovering in like this range. So I changed the timings just a little bit. I can quickly show you. Noxum, let's find it. Noxum, here it is. So as you can see, there's only one knock at like 6600, and these are the timings that I have. I may try to play around with this to see if I can extract some more power, but I'm happy as of now. Here I only, because this was like in the 9s here, I just changed it to 11.1 at 300, just you know, in case I have some peak. But here in the end I left it like that in case something over boosts. It will make sure it runs, you know, big reach to not do any damage. Here those three tables are the same. I copied them across, so this is what I have here. Basically few minor changes around here to adjust the target volt, but nothing special. Boost limit was changed just a little bit. The reactive solenoid as well. This one actually changed quite a lot. I changed all those values here. This one as well, as you can see, I no longer need to max it out at 4000 rpm here, so I'm quite happy with that. Passive solenoid, of course, this one is zeroed out because we don't use it anymore. This one is the same as the other one, but just different values. And that's pretty much it. The rest is, as I said, finalizing stuff. But I'm happy with that. And yeah, thank you for watching. Hopefully this was interesting for and helpful for you. If you're wondering, go ahead, buy a boost controller. And if you're not planning to tune your car, then tune it. Take it to a tuner as soon as you install that, because if you're on the stock like settings, it will not work properly because the boost controller these settings that you have for the OEM one don't apply for the aftermarket, which is of course normal. So yeah, get a tune or tune it yourself to be safe. Thank you for watching. Hopefully I'll see you next time.
Okay, so before I finish the video, I wanna go back at it once again. So today is again like a few months after I did that tuning session, and basically right at that time I kind of stopped touching the changes, but still I wanna go over line by line to show you exactly what I changed, because now after editing I kind of noticed that I didn't go into exact details on what I changed, what I didn't change, and so on. So let's go over that as well. Here, this first ROM that I have, this is the first time that I downloaded it from my car. So this is the very bone stock ROM. And this one is the final version that I use. This is from November 2023. As you can see right now, it's July 13th, 24. I've done a few changes to the car since then. You know, I've driven it. I've also found few things like maybe a knock here and there, so on. A little bit of map scaling and so on. But let's go line by line. The blue ones are the differences between those. So as you can see, it's not that much actually. And also let me show you before that the current power levels. So the weight here is 1580. So the car now weighs in around, it's a little bit less than 1500, but let's say it weighs 1500 and I weighed around 80 kilograms, so 1580. And this is the power level. Actually, I'm very surprised. This is stock turbo. It's pretty much maxed out, and this is the power that I'm getting. Again, VirtualDyno, I don't know how accurate this is to a real dyno jet, but I'm happy with the car, how it works, and how it feels. So, let's start. So, these mode 23 here, these are things that I haven't covered in that video. Maybe if there's interest, I will do it later. These as well, as you see, I'll just show you the values. This is from the current version, but this is again something that I didn't cover here. These are things that you initially do to your mapping before you start adjusting, AFRs, boost, and timing, and so on. This one is again mode 23. By the way, big kudos to the guys because these are people that actually went and found these things in the tables. So I think one of them is Golden, I think Gunzo as well. These are people that did that as well. I think Tefra as well. I don't have the Tefra mode here, but this guy basically made it so that it's very simple to make a different fuel tuning, so different fuel maps. E85, if you like, if you have this in your country and so on, you can very easily do it. So yeah, let's continue. High octane fuel map. So this one, I guess, is the kind of important one. And here you see these ones that are highlighted. This is basically the change from the stock. So in the end, as you can see, I haven't changed all that much. Or have I? Yeah, the colors are very bad. So I have also changed that as well. So let me do something else. Okay, I'll just quickly, blip between them, and you can see the changes, the area which they were made. But the most significant ones are here. And basically, what was happening is I was getting these boost spikes initially, if you remember. And the thing is that the timings were so low here that the car basically didn't have enough time to spool up the turbo, and I was getting these spikes. As soon as I rose up these things here, these values, the car just started spooling much quicker, and the total fuel was different. As you can see here, it was -4, -1, so crazy. But yeah, that's the high octane map. Low octane map, I don't touch that honestly, because I don't feel the need. I try to tune it so that I don't get knock, and by not getting knock, I'm not even using this one. Mivec. So let's just compare them. So this is the stock Mivec, this is the Mivec that I have. Nothing too much of a difference here. I think I already said it, but basically this is similar to the JDM table, so I just copied that and forgot about it, honestly. I think it helps with spooling up, but you know, I'm happy with how the car spools, so I haven't touched it. What's that? Upper bound ignition timing. Okay, I forgot about that, but as you can see, I think I just added increase the limit here, just so that I don't get any, because let's open it again. Sorry about that. As you can see here, it was very close to the limit, right? The exact value that I changed. So just for good measure, I went and changed that to be a little bit bigger. Okay, the fuel map. Let's compare that as well. Obtain fuel map. So yeah, here you can see how rich the stock one is. 8.9 crazy values here. As you can see, the other one is 11.2, so on. Important to say that I set that to 11.2, and that's because my fuel trims are a little bit positive, so they're around like 3% most of the time. Depends, right? So that's the reason I set it to that. So when I go full throttle, the car is in reality around 11.6, 11.7. So it's, yeah. Don't try to copy that from me and apply to yourself. This one is, I mean, you can have 10 here, but in reality you can have 11.5. So be careful for yourself. You test it. Use wideband for that sake. So, but that's the fuel map. As you can see, the changes are very, in a narrow band. So the left part is not touched at all. And yeah, let's go down. What else do we have? Some math scaling here. I've changed it a little bit because I have a different intake, and even though the pipe where the math sensor is located is the same, the same plastic one that the OEM is the same OEM plastic, right? Even though it's the same, I was getting different fuel trims, and I just went here and changed that table a little bit. The way you change that is you drive normally, like drive 50 or 80 or 90 kilometers per hour, try to maintain 1 RPM range, and notice the short-term fuel trim. If it's positive, then go to the mass scaling and adjust it accordingly, and so on. But that's for another video, I guess. Okay, go down to load boost offsets. So I ended up with 135 here. I think it was initially 90, then 120, but now it's 135. And originally it should be 80, right? Let's see, is it 80? Yeah, originally it's 80. Okay, so the target boost, firstly, they are the same for all 3 tables. Honestly, I haven't found the need to change them for like 5th gear, 3rd gear, and so on, so I just made them the same. These are the values that I have. Again, like 155, the way this table works is you take that value and then add the offset, which is 135. So 135 plus 155 is, was it 135? So that's 255 and then 35 on top of that, so like 290, something like that. That's the little bit of the idea of this one. So the maximum you can go here is actually 155, so you can't go any higher. And as you can see here, this is the range that I'm hitting, so around 300. That's why I had to add the offset to be able to be able to achieve that range here. So just if I had to compare the original one, here's the boost target. So something that you can notice here, as you can see, these values on the original one are higher. That's the original one. They are higher. And the reason why they are higher is because the offset here is 80, right? And here is 135. And basically, if I leave them like that, it means that at 30% throttle, I would be expecting 135 plus this 30. And that's, I mean, it's unnecessary at that throttle position to be wanting that much power. That's why on this one I lowered that, so I get a normal fuel economy on lower throttle, and then for the full throttle, as you can see, I went full retard. Alright, so I think that's for the boost here. Let's continue. Boost cut delay timer. I've changed that. I added 200 milliseconds. This is when you hit over boost, that's how much the ECU is going to wait before it does a fuel cut. I did that initially. It was way before I found out that my issue was not adding these timings, because initially for some reason I was looking at these timings and I was like, yeah, they're high enough, and I was not realizing that the car was trying to go over that. And when it wasn't, when I had the old timings and it was over boosting, I decided to try to fix it by, you know, adding a little bit of delay, but no, that was a stupid idea. So technically I don't need that anymore, but I mean, it's whatever for me. I don't hit boost cut anymore, so yeah. Boost limit. Let's see the original. I already forgot. Okay, so if you want to tune your car for the max stock potential of the max potential of the stock turbo, you need to change that map to increase that a little bit. Otherwise, as you can see, like 270 or 265 on 4000 RPM, and I hit like 290. So you need to update that a little bit. Otherwise, you get a boost cut. Okay, so the solenoids here. You remember I didn't make significant changes here initially with the 2-port, but then after I got the 3-port, things got a little bit different. So as you can see, this table is quite different. Again, here it's maxed out because you know, the stock turbo can do so much, so it is maxed out here. So by maxing out the turbo, I'm serious. I am indeed maxing out the turbo. I think these maps are quite the same though, right? Oh, that's a stock one, sorry. That is stock one. Let's see the modified one. Yeah, they are the same. Okay. But yeah, this really depends on, like, as soon as you get a different boost controller, this has to change. So yeah. Passive solenoid is now for me at 0 because I removed the passive solenoid. So technically I don't have that anymore, but you remember, I guess you can see my changes prior while I still had it, if you were interested in that. And wow, that's it. Here the atmospheric boost, that's the same thing but in PSI, so I don't care about it. And yeah, I don't see any other changes, honestly. That's pretty much it. If you want to get that power, by the way, this power, it was, for the most part, it was around like 350, but recently I changed my rims to the Enki RPF ones, and they are way lighter than the Enkis that you come with. The GSR comes with, I think, 1.5 kilograms per rim. So this did affect it. I think it added around 10 horsepower. So that's the kind of, so far, the last power gain that I had, and that's where I'm sitting right now. Currently, I'm in the process of adding a water injection, so expect that to come soon as well. But yeah, let's conclude it because it's time to go to bed. Yeah, guys, hopefully this was helpful. It's kind of, I mean, there's not too much more than I understand and know for tuning, because this is my first time that I'm tuning a car, actually, and I decided to do it on the Evo. And but still, I really hope that it's helpful for you. Don't go too wild. Try to do it gradually. Don't kill your car, guys. And yeah, if you're interested, subscribe. This is, I guess, just the beginning for me. I have plans to change injectors, fuel pump, new turbo. I will have to be rescaling the MAF at some point. So these are all tuning videos that you can also watch. So yeah, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.